Hey guys, welcome back to the Property Analysis by Charissa. So recently I've had many clients who currently owns an EC and are wondering when is the best time to sell their EC. Should they sell upon MOP, which is at the 5-year mark, or at the 10-year mark when EC becomes fully privatized? So for those of you who are unaware, EC is a hybrid of public and private housing catered to middle-income Singaporeans who can't qualify for BTO due to the 14K income ceiling. And the EC follows HDB rules like family nucleus needs to be formed, financing based on MSR, which is mortgage servicing ratio, which is capped at 30% of the borrower's gross income. CPF housing grant is also available depending on the combined household income. Buyers are also required to fulfill the 5-year minimum occupation period. So when an EC turns 5 years old from the TOP date, it is considered semi-privatized and it can be sold in the market to permanent residents. And at the 10-year mark, it will be fully privatized and it can be sold to anyone including foreigners. As such, it makes sense to say that prices of an EC will surge at both 5-year and 10-year mark. That is because there will be an increase in demand from PRs and foreigners. So it is logical to say that if you were to sell your EC after the 10th year mark, your profit margin should be the highest. That is true, but only to a certain extent. Let me share with you guys what I've discovered in my research lately. I've realized that EC which experienced a surge in pricing after 10-year mark were those that were built before 2003. This is the price trend of Woodsville EC, which is located in Woodlands, TOP in 2000 and became semi-privatized in 2005 and fully privatized in 2010. As you can see, the first significant surge was at MOP, likely due to the demand from PR. There is also another surge at 10th-year mark. The price was further increased by 50%. And this is the price chart of Eastvale, which is located in Pasir Ris, which is the first EC to be launched in Singapore. And its price trend is similar to Woodsville, whereby its first price surge came only after MOP. The second surge came after the 10th-year mark. So what happened in the recent years, and how it has affected the profit margin of EC owners? In 2011, the government introduced a series of cooling measures. One of that states that foreigners will be subjected to 10% additional buyer stamp duty for buying any residential property in Singapore. In 2013, this percentage was increased by another 5% to 15% ABSD for foreigners who are buying any residential property. And during the last round of cooling measure in July 2018, it was announced that ABSD payable for foreigners has been further increased to 20%. So with all these measures in place, the property market has become less attractive as a speculative asset. It limits the level of return on investment. This is especially if you are a foreigner to buy a property in a heartland area where you enter at a premium of 20% and yet faces the risk of the property not appreciating. Therefore, EC which turned 10 years after 2011 are less likely to experience a second surge when it becomes fully privatized. La Casa is one of the latest EC to fully privatize in the recent years since the announcement of the various cooling measures. Its price performance surged only upon MOP in 2013 and became stagnant for the past few years. Buyers' profile are made up of only Singaporeans and PRs. Foreign ownership remains at 0% till date. It is therefore safe to conclude that the best time to sell your EC will be 1 to 2 years from MOP. If you are hurriedly holding to an EC we have just met the 5-year mark and you wish to keep it for another round of growth at the 10th-year mark, chances are slim. On the other hand, if you are buying a resale to move in immediately, resale EC is a good price point to enter. Okay, that's all for today, folks. If you are keen to find out more on what you can do for your portfolio, do not hesitate to call me for a non-obligated discussion. Once again, I'm Charissa and I'll see you soon.